Welcome to Demystify Magic with Molly and Madison.
I'm Molly, a former skeptic, now full-time energy healer, author, and your resident science meets spirit nerd.
And I'm Madison, a born and raised witch, teacher of the craft, and owner of not one, not two, but 3 metaphysical businesses.
Together we dig into low-effort witchcraft, spirituality, and the science that backs it all up, all with humor, heart, and a sprinkle of chaos.
So whether you're a curious skeptic or a seasoned witch, find a cozy spot, take a deep breath, and let's demystify some magic.
Howdy doody friends.
Howdy doody.
Happy whatever day it is you're listening to this. We are halfway through our Greek Pantheon Series where Madison teaches me things that I don't know about. And also, you all get to learn how to work with some Greek deities.
Nailed it.
Thank you.
I'm really drawing this series out just so I can ask Molly if she knows what something is and she can say no. This is just an ego fest for me. I hope that that's okay with you guys. Thank you for participating in it with me.
I love it. I love it. And if you are not a member of our Patreon and you want to get some notes on all of these gods and goddesses, we are adding to the clubhouse a little get to know your Greek pantheon worksheet. So if you've been furiously taking notes on this episode, guess what? We took them for you. You can go sign up now. Patreon.com/demystifymagic.
We also have a really fun and silly bonus podcast where once a month we drop the sense of professionalism. Any sense of professionalism that you might think we still hold on to, any shred of our dignity that we hold on to with Demystify Magic, it's dropped, it's gone, it's fallen to the wayside. On our Patreon, we tell all of our unhinged stories. We give you the behind the scenes of all of the fun and exciting stuff going on in our lives. And I tell you about my trip to the emergency vet.
And I tell you about the time I shit myself running.
It's a good time.
It's a great time. You should join us. It's very fun. Anyways, before we dive into the Greek pantheon, again, Madison, what was your magic moment of the week?
My magic moment is that I have stayed committed to a new hobby.
Knitting?
I'm more than halfway done with my sweater.
Oh my God.
I'm almost done with the body, and then I just have the sleeves.
Ooh.
And so I've been saving other knitting patterns on my Etsy of like patterns that I want to try and do next time. And I think I've decided, because knitting a sweater is hard, and it is the first thing I've ever knit. So it's going to be, it is maybe the world's ugliest sweater. I'm going to be honest. The neck, I'll send you a picture of the neck. It's bad. And of course that's like what everybody sees. So now I'm halfway done and my knitting looks really good. But it's going to look its best at the bottom, which nobody looks at.
Yeah.
So the very first stitches I ever knit are the collar of this sweater. So if you see me walking around town rocking the world's ugliest sweater, you just tell me that it looks amazing and keep it moving. But I've decided that, did you ever see that TikTok of the woman who, out of all of her kids and in-laws, all of their spouses, every year for Christmas she chooses a favorite child and she gives them a trophy from the past year?
Oh, no.
I think I'm going to do that with a sweater.
Okay. I love this.
Once a year, one person is going to get a sweater.
I will be. You know how competitive I am. I will be fighting for that.
I know. And so it's a double whammy. It's a win-win situation because everybody is really, really nice to me.
Yep.
And then I make a sweater.
Love that.
I get to make another sweater with a better neck. I did tell Anthony that he was going to have to lose some of his muscle mass if I was going to make him a sweater because he's too large.
Yeah, that would take all year. You'd have to start now.
I'm going to have to start your sweater for 2028 now, the way you're in the fucking gym. So I did tell him I'd make him a jock strap.
There you go.
It was much easier than you'd think to find a knitting pattern for a jock strap. So stay tuned for that. He'll be modeling it on his private Instagram. What was your magic moment this week?
Mine is, on the topic of being ultra competitive. So if you've listened to the pod for a while, you know this time last year I went to sponsor games in San Antonio, Texas, which is my friend Justin Moore's it's like brand sponsorship game show conference. And last year I won the grand prize. This year I told him I didn't want to compete because, a direct quote, if I sweep the floor 2 years in a row, no one will come back for year 3. So you should make me a judge. So he made me a judge, which was great. And so I had all this competitive energy that I had nowhere to put. So I put it into helping my friend Joe, who's one of the sponsorship coaches there, helping his daughter Teresa win the Girl Scout cookie competition. Mm-hmm. He told me the story the first night that his 9-year-old daughter went door to door in the snow and sold 640 boxes of cookies last year. And then some girl won with 1,000 boxes of cookies because her dad owns a car dealership and just like made all of his employees buy them. And I was like, no. We are not letting a Nepo baby win against Teresa. So I say to Joe, I was like, she is going to hit her goal. She was like 300 and something away from 1,000 boxes sold. I was like, we're going to make sure she hits her goal before the end of sponsor games. And so literally I was on a river cruise and like we were 75 boxes away from the final 1,000. And I was like, everyone, this is a boat full of fucking influencers right now. Let's use our influence for good, everyone. And so like went into Patreon, went into my graduate community, posted on Instagram. By the time we circled that boat, 15 minutes later, she had hit her goal. So thank you all who bought cookies from Teresa. She sent me this adorable video, just like thanking me, being so excited that when she wins, she gets to go to a water park. And she was so cute.
That's tender.
And now I have 18 boxes of cookies I need to eat, which is a magic moment in and of itself. But it was just really nice to be able to just like put that competitive energy towards good.
Yeah. This is how we learned that we live in different distribution areas for Girl Scout cookies. We have different Girl Scout cookies.
I mean, well, to be fair, Teresa doesn't live in my area either.
But
so
I asked you what Girl Scout cookies you get when you are like what Girl Scout cookies they have, and we do have different.
You're right.
Girl Scout cookies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it apparently depends on like different factories have different trademark or copyright or something. I don't know.
And the recipes are different.
I guess. I don't know.
Trust me, I went deep.
Okay.
I learned a lot about just source. Trust me, bro. Okay. I'm going to send you some tag-alongs. Don't worry.
Perfect. Great.
Okay. Let's dive in. We've got a lot to cover. The further we get in this series, the more laughable I think it is that when we first decided we were going to talk about the Greek Pantheon, we were going to do it in a 2-part series. Because there's a lot to unpack with all of these deities.
Yeah.
And these 3 are actually gods that I don't have. Honestly, obviously, there's a lot of gods. I don't have like a strong relationship with most of them. Mm-hmm. And we really started where like almost all of my knowledge, my like pre-existing knowledge lies. And so everything else from here on out is kind of like that's fun. Oh, that's interesting. Like it's all new stuff.
You're
for
learning
me.
with us.
And I'll be honest, like the wisdom and communication aspect of deities is like not always super compelling to me. Mm. And so it was nice to be like kind of forced to learn about these 3. So these 3 kind of might seem like an odd trio at first glance. Athena, the warrior goddess, Hermes, the trickster messenger, and Apollo, the sun god. But together, Athena, Hermes, and Apollo cover every mode of knowing: strategic intelligence, received wisdom, and inspired truth. All 3 of them have something important to say about one of the most common struggles in modern spiritual practice, which is learning to trust. So, the Greeks distinguished between several kinds of knowledge and intelligence. So I want to go through again, like we did with the different types of love and the different types of, the different phases of the underworld. There's some important distinctions to make here. So understanding these distinctions, I think, will help us kind of understand why the deities feel so different from each other, even though they have a little bit of overlap. So we've got logos, rational, logical thought. This is reason, argument, structured analysis. This is Athena's primary domain. It's intelligence, like surrounding plans and strategies. Nous is intuitive perception or direct knowing. So this is the intelligence that grasps something whole without needing reason. It's the closest Greek concept to what we'd call intuition or inner knowing. So Apollo, through his oracles, works in this.
Okay.
Sophia is deep wisdom, not just knowing the facts, but understanding their meaning and how to apply them across time. This is the integration of experience into perspective. This is also where the Athena comes into play. Then we have techne, which is skilled craft, knowledge as expressed through making. This is the intelligence of the hands.
This is you knitting.
Exactly. It's like the artist, the musician. This is Apollo's domain. And then metis is cunning intelligence. So it's practical wisdom, adaptability, and the ability to navigate complex situations with agility. This is Hermes. Interestingly, metis was also the name of Zeus's first wife and Athena's mother. So Athena literally carries like cunning wisdom in her origin story.
Okay.
So, for example, like when you pull a tarot card and your gut says one thing, but your brain that holds that like Rolodex of all the books you've read says another thing, that's nous versus logos. When you know exactly what to do in a crisis without thinking about it, that's metis. And when a song arrives fully formed in your brain and you just have to like puke it out, if you're an artist or a musician, you know, that's techne.
Okay.
So they're not like competing kinds of intelligence of like, oh, you're only tech. It's not like book smart versus street smart, you know?
Yeah.
It's just different facets of the same thing. What I love so much about Greek culture is the way that they are so like nuanced about everything. Like they don't have just one word for this thing. We don't have just one underworld. We have all these different layers. We don't have just one kind of love. We have all of these different, we have pragma, we have eros, we have all those things. We don't have just one type of intellect. We have all of these different types. I just think that that's like so interesting. And so that's why I keep kind of like weaving that in through there because it's, I don't know, I love nuance. I'm an over-explainer till the day I die, and so I love other ways to over-explain.
One thing about us, we love nuance. That's why we have a podcast.
So, starting with Athena, the goddess of wisdom, strategic intelligence, craft, and justified war. Athena is a really complex deity in the Greek pantheon. She's one of the most immediately recognizable. She, goddess of war. I love that a woman is the goddess of war.
Yeah. I thought it was... Isn't there a god of war?
There is. We'll talk about the difference there.
Okay. All right.
Don't worry. We're getting there.
No, don't worry. I'm not worried. I wasn't worried.
I'm not worried.
You are.
She's also the patron goddess of Athens. So the city is named in her honor after she won a contest against Poseidon. She's the goddess of wisdom, but not like soft intellectual type wisdom. It's like strategy, applied, earned wisdom.
Street smarts.
Very much street smarts. She governs a wide domain, warfare, specifically the strategy and justice of it, in contrast to Ares, he's more so the god of the battle itself, more of like that brutal,
got it,
fighting energy.
So she's like the strategy. She's playing Risk.
Exactly. She's the general and Ares is the soldier.
Ooh.
That's how I see it.
Isn't it always the case that a woman is the strategy behind the brute force?
The man is the head, but the woman is the neck.
What?
That's from My Big Fat Greek Wedding.
Oh, okay.
It's like men think that they're in charge, but the women are the ones that are holding them up and making them move.
Oh, I like that.
So she also is the goddess of crafts and artisanship, so weaving, my knitting, pottery and metalwork, wisdom and philosophy, law and justice, and protection of cities and civilization. She's a goddess of making things, like making ideas into strategies, making raw materials into art, or making conflict into resolution. That's another thing that I really love about Greek mythology is that, like, in some cultures, it's like, okay, god of war, god of plant, god of underworld, whereas they're very specific with who's in charge of what. We have multiple gods of war, but it's the different aspects, right? Like everybody controls not just like a domain, but certain aspects of that domain.
Yeah. It's like a well-oiled corporation.
Exactly. It is. Yeah. It's like, this is the C-suite.
Yeah. Yeah.
Of the universe. And that is also why I think there's like so much contradiction in Greek mythology as well, because there's so much overlap that it's very easy for things to get confused.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which does also leave us in a place where like it's very open to interpretation, which is also my jam. So, she was born fully grown and fully armored. She erupted from Zeus's head.
Ew.
This followed Zeus swallowing her mother Metis, the goddess of cunning wisdom, after a prophecy warned that Metis's children would surpass their father. So Athena carries both her parents inside of her, Zeus's sky sovereign power and her mother Metis's cunning intelligence.
Okay.
Energetically, Athena is very direct and like very much like completely utterly without vanity. She's very smart. She's the energy of the person in the room who she really reminds me of Sherlock Holmes.
Okay.
Like, she's always 12 steps ahead and she's just waiting for everybody to catch up.
I love that.
She's walking into a room and she's established all the exits.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, she's very, very aware. And most importantly, she's a protector. But not just like a protector of the powerful. And, you know, she's not just protecting the C-suite, right? Her domain is the cities. It's her job to protect the mortals. She's also the patron of the clever and the skilled. So, her mythology. Her birth, Zeus swallowed the titaness Metis when she was pregnant, fearing that prophecy that we talked about, that her children would surpass him. Either Hephaestus or Prometheus, depending on the version, split Zeus's skull with an axe, and Athena emerged fully armored, shouting her war cry as she left his skull.
Damn, girl.
How she got from his intestines to his skull, we'll never know, but that's not my job. So, when Athens needed a patron city, Athena and Poseidon competed each other, offering the city each a gift. Poseidon struck the ground and produced a saltwater spring, and Athena struck the ground and produced an olive tree, which offered food, oil, wood, and trade. Yeah. The gods, or the citizens, again, depending, chose Athena. Poseidon then flooded the plains in his rage, but Athens still became her city. Next is the myth of Arachne. There was a mortal weaver named Arachne who boasted that her skill surpassed Athena's. Athena disguised herself as an old woman to warn her to not fuck around or else she might find out. Mm-hmm. But Arachne doubled down and they competed. Arachne's tapestry, which depicted the gods' transgressions against mortals, was technically flawless. Athena destroyed it in a rage, or in some versions acknowledged that it was equal to hers, but was angered by its subject matter. She then transformed Arachne into a spider and condemned her to weave forever.
Aww.
Mm-hmm. So the trial of Orestes killed his mother Clytemnestra to avenge his father, and the Furies pursued him for matricide. The Furies are the Greek goddesses of vengeance and retribution, by the way.
What's matricide?
Killing your mother.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Patricide is killing your father.
Oh, yeah. I was focused on the mattress part, not the matra part.
Yeah. So, Athena then established the first court of law to try the case rather than allow, like, you know, everybody to fight each other and like, oh, I'm killing you because you killed your mom and then blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. You know. She cast the deciding vote for acquittal and transformed the Furies into the Eumenides, which is the word for kindly ones, and made them the protectors of Athens. Oh. Which I really think is interesting because in this last myth, she's like kind of vindictive and is focused on revenge. But then here, I guess like revenge maybe is not the right word, but I see it as like vengeful in some way. But then in this myth, she's kind of established as she values justice over that kind of stuff. And so again, like imperfect, right? Mm-hmm. She feels personally insulted in this one case, and that makes her maybe act outside of her moral values. Mm-hmm. Whereas when it's somebody else, she's able to see a little bit clearer what the situation really calls for. Athena also assisted Perseus in his quest to behead Medusa. She provided him with a mirrored shield so that he could look at Medusa's reflection without being turned to stone. She later wore Medusa's head on her shield or like breastplate, both as a trophy and as a protective talisman. And then in the Trojan War, Athena backed the Greeks heavily, frequently descending to intervene in battle. She is one of the most active divine participants in the Iliad. She's both strategic and focused, and also she's like really, really personally invested in the outcome of the war. Her antagonism towards Troy began with the judgment of Paris. Again, she was passed over for Aphrodite, and she pursued it with like very, very on-brand thoroughness.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Athena's energy, when unintegrated, can show up as over-relying on logic at the expense of intuition, planning so thoroughly that you never act, using intelligence as armor to avoid vulnerability, being contemptuous of those who know differently than you do or think differently than you do, or confusing being right with being wise. The Arachne myth, as uncomfortable as it is to admit, that is like a part of that shadow side too. They're refusing to acknowledge when somebody else is correct.
Yeah. I was going to say the one that really hit home to me is that planning so much that you don't act. I feel like I've definitely been guilty of that.
Yeah, you can only strategize so much before it's time to go to war, baby.
Yeah, for sure.
So, signs Athena may be reaching out include owls appearing repeatedly, a sudden burst of strategic clarity about a problem you've been circling, being drawn to philosophy, logic puzzles, or structured thinking systems.
Oh, I love logic puzzles.
Me too. I literally was just thinking about one of my favorite games from when I was a kid that I can't remember the name of. It was like,
what was it?
I can't remember. It was like these puzzles and you solve this mystery. I also used to love the Nancy Drew games.
What were the characters?
It was like a really tall, skinny man in a top hat and a short little boy.
No idea.
It was on the DS.
Okay, if anyone knows, let us know.
Please. I actually think I have it on my Switch, like a Switch version of it.
Oh my God.
Anyways, olive trees, olive oil, or the color gray-green appearing as recurring motifs. Dreams of armored figures, cities, or libraries. A strong pull towards any kind of craft, but especially weaving and pottery. Anything like making things with your hands.
You could do knitting as an offering.
Right?
Ooh, that's cute.
Athena, you get the sweater this year. Really feeling called towards like justice, especially if there's like justice in a specific situation. A sense of being protected by like a very, I don't know how else to describe what I'm thinking other than by saying like really clear energy, like sharp energy. Or being like really pulled towards the air sign. That's the sign of intellect, communication. Finding yourself naturally thinking several steps ahead in a situation, or spiders appearing as a recurring symbol.
No, thank you. I am all set with that. Nope, I'm out. No.
Athena, do not come to my house with that.
Nope. You take that spider ass energy and you go next door. I am out. No, thank you.
Pictures of cartoon spiders.
Dude, I don't know. I don't want to.
Have you seen those
really
tiny spiders that are kind of cute?
No, the tinier are scarier.
No, with
you
the
don't
little
know if
eyes.
they're in your ears. They don't know.
Okay, well, I never thought about that.
They could be laying eggs in your hair. No, thank you. I don't want no tiny spiders.
Understood. How to work with Athena. Strategic planning and decision making. Creative and craft work, especially things that need like an extra level of skill and precision. Academic work, writing, research, and intellectual projects. Any kind of justice work and navigating legal or institutional systems. She would be a really, really great goddess for witchy lawyers or witchy people who work in the court system. Protection of a project, home, or community you've built. Cutting through confusion to see a situation with absolute clarity. Overcoming an opponent through strategy rather than force. Learning a new skill, since she's the patron of all crafts, not the patron saint. She's categorically not a saint. Ways to approach her. She really respects preparation and seriousness. So you can come to her with a clear question, a specific situation, and evidence that you've already done your own thinking.
Ooh.
She really calls on you to like think for yourself and not just like blindly trust, which I love. She's definitely the deity for like the, hey, I thought this through and I just like need the next level of clarity rather than like, here's my problem. Will you fix it?
I like that.
Right?
Yeah.
It's a very collaborative relationship.
Yeah, I was going to say like, that's where I feel called to do deity work is after I've exhausted my own brain power. I didn't know. I didn't think I'd be called to Athena, but after that, I'm just like, maybe.
Right. She is also really responsive to any kind of craft offering. So showing her something you've made or making something as a part of the ritual.
I was thinking too. So this is a mundane offering example for Athena, but I remember when I was making my sweater, I got stuck in the pattern and I kept redoing it over and over and over again. So I was like researching how to do this one thing, how to do this one thing. I could have just gone to Athena and been like, I've tried all the things. Help.
Yeah.
Right?
All right. Offerings for Athena include olive oil, either poured or used to anoint candles, even like used in cooking as a devotional practice. Olive branches, any kind of owl imagery, gray and gold candles, books, written intentions, or pages from your journal. Any kind of handmade item, especially like something you made yourself. Lavender and rosemary, snake imagery, that's her sacred animal alongside the owl. And clear quartz or lapis lazuli.
It's interesting that snakes and owls, aren't they prey and predator?
I don't think owls are prey. I think they're both predators.
No, I mean snakes are the prey to an owl.
Oh, I don't know. Do owls eat snakes?
Hey, Google, do owls eat snakes? Yes.
Wow. I saw it more as like, because owls are such a symbol of wisdom, and then snakes are a symbol of like
cunning.
Yeah.
Well, I just thought it was interesting, that like dichotomy of like she's represented by both the predator and the prey.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Once. I don't know.
I like that. Correspondences include lapis lazuli, clear quartz, sodalite, sapphire, and moonstone. Colors: gray, gold, deep blue, olive green. Herbs and plants: olives, lavender, rosemary, oak, and citrus. Also owls, serpents, roosters, rams, and crows. And then the planet Mercury. And then both Wednesday and Saturday, and the number 7.
Okay.
Are associated with Athena. Next, we've got Hermes. He's the messenger of the gods, the deity of thresholds, communication, travel, trickery, and the in-between. Hermes is delightful and chaotic.
Yeah, I would describe myself as such.
He's also very like immediately relatable, I think, to modern practitioners. So he's the god of messages and communication, but also roads and travelers, merchants and thieves, language and lies, boundaries and their crossing. And he also guides souls to the underworld. So he is a kind of god of the dead.
Aw. Is he the one that has the shoes with the wings on them?
I think in some, yeah, in Hercules, yes.
Okay, gotcha.
And he's so heavily featured there because he is one of the only gods who can move freely from the underworld to the world of the living.
Oh. Okay.
Yep. So he's also the patron deity of synchronicities.
Oh.
Which is why I find him to be so relatable. I'm surprised that I don't hear about more people working with him. Yeah. Because synchronicities are such a big part of modern practice.
Right.
So his Roman equivalent is Mercury, and his astrological influence is like communication, intellect, adaptability, wit, and the nervous system maps directly onto who he is as a god. When Mercury goes retrograde, you're feeling Hermes' energy in reverse.
Ah, that's why Mercury retrograde is so tricky.
Messages get scrambled, travel goes sideways, technology doesn't work quite right. That's kind of like his presence.
You should leave an offering for Hermes in the shadow period of Mercury retrograde.
I wouldn't advise against it.
I love Hermes already.
So energetically, Hermes is quick, bright, and kind of like impossible to pin down. He's never quite where you expect him to be. He is the energy of unexpected connection, kind of like the moment when two things that are seemingly unrelated suddenly reveal their relationship. Like putting the pieces together. So he's super mischievous, but that mischief often has a purpose. That chaos that he's often creating usually has a reason that when you look back at it with hindsight, you realize that it was actually very smart of him. So,
like Mercury retrograde.
Exactly. In his mythology, Hermes was born at dawn in a cave on Mount Cyllene, Cyllene. He's the son of Zeus and the nymph Maia, Maia. By noon of his first day alive, he had invented the lyre from a tortoiseshell. wandered to Thessaly, stolen 50 of Apollo's sacred cattle, driven them backward to confuse trackers, sacrificed 2, and was back in his crib pretending to be an innocent newborn when Apollo arrived furious.
That's so me.
When brought before Zeus, he talked his way out of punishment with charm. Zeus ended up laughing by the end of the conversation. He gave Apollo the lyre as payment, and Apollo gave him the cattle and a golden staff.
Oh my God. I love Hermes.
I know. So the golden staff that Apollo gave Hermes, or that Hermes received as a gift from Zeus, different stories say different things, was called the caduceus. It's a staff entwined with 2 serpents, sometimes depicted with wings. When he placed it between 2 fighting snakes, they stopped fighting and entwined the staff in peace, and it became his emblem.
Aww.
Hermes' most interesting role to me is his guide of the dead. So when a soul leaves its body, it's Hermes who meets it, says, hey, you died. And, well, actually, I think that's Thanatos. So we touch a lot of hands, right? You die, Thanatos guides you from living to dead. He then passes you off to Hermes. Hermes takes you to the underworld.
Okay.
So he's like the boundary crosser, you know? Again, he's the only god that can go at will between the land of the living and the dead. Thanatos is called there when someone dies and then goes back to the underworld.
Yeah.
He's bound by his duty to be in the land of the living. Whereas Hermes, it is his job to guide those souls, but he can also go wherever he wants, whenever he wants.
I love that about him.
And that staff, the caduceus, actually, he uses that to ease the transition. So that's why he's associated with liminal spaces, thresholds, and like any kind of like moment, like that moment between awake and asleep, right? Any kind of like liminal situation. So this is actually a story about Hermes that will contradict a story that we talked about with Hera.
Okay.
So in the story that we talked about with Hera, Hera turned Io into a cow after she was taken by Zeus.
Sure.
In this, Zeus transformed his consensual lover, Io, into a cow to hide her from Hera.
Okay.
So in this myth, Hera set the 100-eyed giant Argus to watch her. Zeus sent Hermes to free Io. I'm just going to say it both ways every time.
Perfect.
Hermes disguised himself as a shepherd and played music and told stories until all 100 of Argus's eyes closed in sleep. Then he killed him.
Oh.
Hera immortalized Argus's eyes in the peacock's tail.
That's why she's so connected to peacocks. I was wondering when we were going to come around to that.
Yep, was saving it for this one. And this is important. This myth is important, I think, for his lore to kind of show that he can do what the gods like Ares and Athena maybe can't. The things that where force can't, cunning can.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, like Athena is very structured and justice oriented, right? Where Hermes is willing to bend the truth. Something I thought that was really interesting that I wanted to add in here is that later there's a version of Hermes that is fused with the Egyptian god Thoth.
Okay.
Who is credited with the Hermetic tradition. So highly tied to alchemy, astrology, and like the foundational texts of Western occultism.
Ooh.
As above, so below is a Hermetic phrase.
Hermes, Hermetic.
Exactly. The word that's the next sentence in my notes. Thank you.
Sorry.
No, it's great. Great. I'm glad that you're getting it too. The word Hermetic, which is like the word for sealed or secret, comes from his name. He's like, in this version of him is like the original esoteric teacher. I didn't dive too deep into that because I was like, we got to stay focused here.
Yeah.
But I wanted to include it as like a, So Hermes unintegrated can show up as communication that is clever but not honest, using wit to avoid depth, being so adaptable that you have no fixed identity. Like if you feel like you're a chameleon, that you're a different person every group that you're in, staying permanently in transit and never arriving anywhere, or mistaking trickery for wisdom. The shadow of Hermes is the one who maybe distorts the message rather than gives it to you straight. It's translating it in a way that serves their own agenda. Mercury retrograde is a really good reminder of what Hermes looks like when his energy is stuck or reversed.
Yeah.
So signs Hermes may be reaching out would be synchronicities firing rapidly. If you're one of those people that sees repeating numbers all the time, especially like if there's, you know, right place, right time moments, any kind of like meaningful coincidences, anything like that, any kind of synchronicity. The right information arriving at exactly the right moment. Snakes appearing as a recurring symbol. Finding coins or unexpected small gifts. He's associated with luck. Technology glitching in a way that feels pointed rather than random. Like there will be times when my Wi-Fi goes out right when we're supposed to record, and one of us is feeling like shit. And it's like, oh, okay, we weren't supposed to record today. Got it. Understood. That's Hermes energy.
Yeah.
A sudden facility with words, ideas that might be arriving faster than you can like get them down on paper. Dreams of roads, travel, crossroads, or being a messenger. Mercury retrograde hitting you especially hard. That's a sign that his energy is very present in your chart or in your work, which is how I felt this Mercury retrograde. I'm like, ugh.
Totally. I'm still recovering.
Same. An urge to write, journal, or communicate something that you've been holding back, or the feeling that the universe is trying to tell you something and you keep almost hearing it. Like the messenger is trying to come through and maybe isn't quite making it there yet.
It's on the threshold.
Ways to work with Hermes include divination. So he governs the transmission of messages from the divine. So he's like the perfect person to call on before a tarot reading or before you pull out your pendulum.
Yeah.
If you're interpreting signs and synchronicities, you can ask him to make the message clearer. Important communications like difficult conversations, negotiations, job interviews, any kind of public speaking, ask him to come with you to buy a new car, you know, if you're someone who hates to negotiate. Travel protection and safe passage, any kind of threshold moment, beginning something new, crossing from one life chapter to another. Writing, speaking, or any work that requires the right words. Shadow work around communication patterns and ancestral communication. So because he takes people from the land of the living to the land of the dead, he's pretty familiar with who's over there and can be the messenger who brings those people back to talk. So if you're looking to approach him, he likes to be approached with some playfulness. He responds to wit and lightness, maybe like not silliness, but definitely like an open mind. He also appreciates offerings left at thresholds. So like doorways, crossroads, the edge of your property. He's always in motion. So fixed altar work is less central to his practice. Whereas like threshold work and spontaneous acknowledgement of his presence when synchronicities might come up is a more effective way to show your appreciation for him. So for example, if a synchronicity appears like a song or a number or like a sign that you've asked for, simply saying out loud or internally, hey, I hear you, Hermes, thank you. Super easy. That's more impactful for a relationship with him than an altar.
Oh man, that is speaking to my soul.
So offerings include coins, strawberries, honey, quick breads or crackers, like any kind of simple fast food shit, a McDonald's Happy Meal for, you know, for the deity that's in motion.
Catch me at the crossroads leaving a Happy Meal.
Exactly. You know, 2 birds, 1 stone. And then if somebody hungry finds the meal, then it's for Hecate as well. So snake imagery, yellow candles, yellow is his color, any kind of written message, your journal or a pen, and any kind of travel offering, like a small token before a journey, like something to say, hey, I'm about to travel. Can I have a little bit of extra protection? His correspondences include citrine, tiger's eye, aventurine, clear quartz, agate, and opal. Yellow, orange, silver, and any like iridescent color is associated with him. Lavender, dill, fennel, mint, and clover. Serpents, rams, tortoises, roosters, and hawks. And then that winged staff, the caduceus, is a really great symbol of his. Also winged sandals, the planet Mercury, and Wednesday is his day of the week. And then also the number 4.
Okay.
Last but not least, we've got Apollo, the god of the sun, prophecy, music, poetry, healing, and truth. So Apollo is a really heavily written about, heavily worshipped, and like a very multifaceted deity. He is kind of difficult to summarize because his domains are vast and like kind of all-encompassing and seeming contradictory a lot of the times. So he's the god of the sun, the god of prophecy and oracles, of music and poetry, of healing and plague, of archery, of truth, and of the arts.
He's got a lot going on.
He's got his hand in a lot of pots. So, his twin sister is Artemis, and they were born on the island of Delos, or in some versions, Artemis was born first and then served as midwife for her brother. Their mother was Leto, a titaness, and Hera made her birth nearly impossible out of jealousy, forbidding any land to offer Leto shelter. Delos, a floating island that was not technically land, was a loophole, which is how she was able to find a safe place to give birth. The most famous thing associated with Apollo is the Oracle of Delphi. The Pythia, the priestess who sat over a chasm in the earth, breathing vapors and delivering prophecy in Apollo's name. Delphi was considered the navel of the world.
The belly button?
Yeah, the belly button.
Okay.
People traveled from across the Mediterranean to receive the oracle's wisdom. Inscribed at the entrance to the temple were the words, "Know thyself," and "Nothing in excess." So those two instructions are kind of like the heart of Apollo and his message. Energetically, Apollo carries radiant clarity. He's the embodiment of one of my favorite phrases, sunlight is the best disinfectant. He's the kind of light that shows you absolutely everything, including what you'd rather not see. So working with Apollo is working with the truth. And so if you want to work with him, that kind of means you have to be prepared to receive it, no matter what it is. So Apollo's mythology, his birth on Delos, Leto, pregnant by Zeus, wandered the earth unable to find land to give birth on because Hera had forbidden it. Finally, Delos, a floating, unanchored island, agreed to receive her in exchange for becoming a sacred site. So Apollo was born into light and immediately called for his bow and his lyre. He was a god immediately. In his earliest days, Apollo traveled to Delphi, then called Pytho, and killed the Python, a great serpent or dragon that guarded the site. In some versions, the Python was sacred to Gaia, and Apollo's killing it and claiming of the oracle was a transfer of power from the old Earth religion to the new Olympian one. And he was required to undergo purification for the killing and established the Pythian Games in the Python's honor.
Okay.
So, like we covered before, Hermes stole Apollo's cattle on his first day of life, and then when caught, was offered the lyre as reconnaissance. Apollo fell completely in love with the instrument, and the music became central to his identity. So he's the leader of the Muses, the divine patron of all the arts.
Aww.
We are the Muses.
I don't know what that is.
Hercules, the movie.
Dude, it's been like 20 years since I've seen that.
Okay. It's how it starts. You should watch it again. It's a great movie.
Maybe we'll watch it with our Patreon friends.
Apollo, who when he was struck by Ero's golden arrow, remember, he fell in love with Daphne. She was a nymph. Daphne had been struck by the lead arrow, causing her to be completely repulsed by him, which is an evil prank. He pursued her relentlessly, and as he was about to catch her, she called on her father, who was a river god, to save her. She was transformed then into a laurel tree. Apollo was devastated and declared the laurel his sacred tree and wore a laurel crown forever after to honor her.
Aww.
Yeah, which is it's an interesting myth to me because neither of them had consent in the situation. And so I can't really be mad at Apollo for his behavior because he's under the influence of something that I don't know how intense the arrows are meant to feel or whatever it is, you know, and so it's this weird blurry line of where is Apollo culpable for his behavior?
Right.
It's a really interesting lesson on consent.
Totally.
So Apollo also had a great male love.
Oh.
This man, his name is where hyacinth came from. It's Hyacinthus. So Hyacinthus was a Spartan prince, super gorgeous, hottie with a body yaddy yaddy.
Yaddy yaddy yaddy.
Both Apollo and a man named Zephyrus loved him. So while Apollo was teaching him to throw the discus, which is an old Greek sport thing, Zephyrus blew the discus off course in jealousy, and it struck Hyacinthus in the head and killed him.
Oh,
Yeah.
No.
Mm-hmm.
He really said, if I can't have you, no one will.
No one will. Yeah. So Apollo obviously was grief-stricken and refused to let Hades take his soul and transformed him into the hyacinth flower, making its petals with his cries.
God.
I know. It's like, they're all sad.
They're really sad. Can we go back to Psyche?
I know. Just everybody just remember that Eros and Psyche are happy. Okay. Apollo gave the Trojan princess Cassandra the gift of prophecy. When she refused his romantic advances, he cursed her so that no one would ever believe her predictions.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm. She foretold the fall of Troy accurately and repeatedly, but no one listened to her. So, the Oracle of Delphi. For nearly 1,000 years, the Pythia at Delphi delivered major decisions. Her answers were famously ambiguous, not because Apollo was being evasive, but often because the truth is really simple. And the future is all kind of wibbly wobbly. So the most famous example is King Croesus of Lydia asked if he should attack Persia. The oracle said that if he did, a great empire would fall. He attacked and his own empire fell. The oracle was accurate. The interpretation was wrong. This was kind of Apollo's continuing lesson about prophecy, is receiving the message is really only the beginning. You don't blindly listen to one sentence and let your immediate interpretation lead your actions. So his shadow side, Apollo's energy when unintegrated shows up when you have that conviction that you know the truth and others don't, and it kind of makes you an asshole.
Yeah.
Maybe using clarity as a weapon, blinding others with your own light, receiving a message and running with an interpretation that serves you rather than examining it honestly, or perfectionism that makes creation feel impossible. The Cassandra myth feels really important to his shadow too. That side of Apollo that maybe gives gifts and then punishes when they're not received like you want them to be. But in his highest expression, the Delphi inscription points towards is radical self-honesty, the willingness to turn your own clear light on yourself. Know thyself might not be super comfortable at first. It's a lifelong practice. And that's kind of what Apollo's all about. So signs Apollo might be reaching out include the sun behaving unusually, dramatic sunrises or sunsets, sunlight catching something in a way that feels really pointed, music arriving with unusual emotional power, a song that answers a question you might have but didn't ask out loud, shufflemancy, crows or ravens, which are his sacred birds, appearing repeatedly. You'll see crows and ravens are kind of a through line through a lot of these. There's a lot of overlap there, even with Celtic gods. But laurel or bay leaves showing up as a recurring symbol, dreams of light, sunlit spaces, or again, receiving a message you can almost but not quite hear. Kind of leaning into that prophecy, those kind of vague energies. An inexplicable certainty about something you couldn't rationally know. A pull towards poetry, music, or any art form that uses language. The number of 7 appearing repeatedly, that's his sacred number. And feeling called to examine your relationship with truth, what you know, what you're avoiding knowing, and what you've been told that isn't accurate. Ways to work with Apollo include divination and prophecy, trusting your own inner knowing, calling on him to amplify rather than give the message. Creative work, especially music, poetry, and writing. Healing, he is the god of medicine. Seeking truth in a confusing situation. Strategy and planning that requires seeing clearly into the future. Sun magic, solar rituals, and working with solar energy. And calling in creative inspiration and connection to the muses.
I like that.
All right. So Apollo responds to clarity of intention and a genuine commitment to truth, including about yourself. Before you call on him for a reading or a creative project, take a moment to ask honestly, am I open to receiving what's actually true, or am I looking for confirmation of what I already believe? Apollo is going to give you what you need. Whether it matches what you want is a different question.
Yeah.
He's particularly potent at sunrise, at the summer solstice, and on Sundays. Bay laurel burned as incense or used to anoint the forehead before divination is one of the oldest Apollo-specific ritual practices. The Pythia actually chewed laurel leaves before receiving visitors.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. So offerings include bay laurel, either burned as an incense, placed on the altar, or used as a crown like he wears.
Are those the same as bay leaves?
No.
Okay.
Bay laurel is its own, it's like a shrub.
Got it.
Gold candles or bright yellow candles, sunflowers and marigolds, music played or sung aloud, written poetry or creative work offered to him, honey, frankincense, crow or raven feathers, citrine or sunstone crystals. His correspondences include, obviously, sunstone and citrine, amber, yellow topaz, labradorite, and gold sheen obsidian, gold, yellow, white, and bright orange, bay laurel again, sunflower, frankincense, cinnamon, saffron, crows, ravens, swans, mice, wolves, and dolphins, lyres, any like silver bow and arrows, laurel wreaths, and the planet of the sun, obviously, god of the sun, and Sunday, and the number 7. Together, these 3 deities govern a distinct mode of intelligence, right? They form this like complete system of navigating the world with both clarity and wisdom. So Athena is the strategist, Hermes is the receiver, and Apollo is the illuminator.
It's interesting because both Apollo and Hermes both like tie into divination.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They're really, really like the 3 of them together create like a full divination practice, or any practice for like reading your life, really.
Yeah.
Hermes opens the channel, Apollo illuminates what it actually means, and then Athena helps you figure out what to do with it. Helps you integrate, you know?
Yeah.
So if you're working through divination and you can't receive the message clearly, you might want to call on Hermes. You may be like too much in your head, and you might need that channel like open back up.
Mm-hmm.
If you receive the message but you can't trust it, call on Apollo. And if you receive and trust but you don't know what to do, call on Athena.
I like that.
So who do you feel most called to?
Definitely Hermes.
Yeah. I figured you would say so.
Mm-hmm. Although it's interesting because, again, reading the Neon God series, Hermes uses she, her pronouns in that series. And so for me, I don't connect with Hermes as like a male energy.
Mm-hmm. So for those who don't know, the Neon God series is a series by Katie Robert. It's really good. And the premise is basically that like all of the mythology is kind of the same, but
the players swap in and out.
They're like Hermes is a title. Yeah. It's not like a person, it's a title. And so and each title has like a different way that you get it. So like in some it's trials, in some it's elections, in some it's like only passed from like family, parent to child, et cetera, et cetera. And so when a new person is like becomes Hermes, they give up their name and they only go by Hermes.
Yeah.
And so at the time of the series, Hermes is a woman.
Mm-hmm. It's great. It's a great series.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like Hermes. I feel like Hermes feels very me.
Yeah. A little trickster.
Yeah. Who do you connect with?
I think Athena. I think because that's what I need a little bit more of in my life, maybe, is like that grounded structure, strategy type energy. Mm-hmm. But again, like I kind of struggle with the more like wisdom-esque gods. Even though they are tied to divination, and I see how they like really play well into a practice together. I'm just such an underworld god bitch.
That's why I think you would resonate with Hermes.
Yeah, I don't know. I also like I don't know that I'll ever work with a male god. Just like by nature of who I am and my brain.
Yeah, fair.
I struggle with that a little bit. It's an all-girl party at my house.
All-girl party.
Can't help it. All right, so we're halfway through.
Did we do it?
We did it. Next week, we will be diving into the gods of nature, the wild, and the cycles of the earth. We've got Artemis, Demeter, and Poseidon.
Ooh, fun.
All right, we will see you then. Love you.
Bye. Thanks for listening to Demystify Magic with Molly and Madison. All our links, from spells to ceremonies to ways to support us, are waiting in the show notes.
We'd love to hear your magic moment of the week. Share it in a review, tag us on socials, or bring it to our Patreon clubhouse at demystifymagic.com.
And remember, you are the magic.
Okay, love you.
Bye.